It's a massive app like Just Eat or Dyson or wherever. You probably have some sort of continuous integration set up, but even if it's just a little hobby project, set up a CI. There's like free ones out there that you could just run up. It's very low effort, and you could use that to automate some of those things that you might forget. So running the unit tests, not everyone remembers each time to just press that shortcut or go press that button to run the tests. Same with the UI tests. Deploying to Fabric or the App Store, why do it manually each time? You could set up a machine to do this. You might be on a train trying to quickly fix something. You might have terrible data, and you might not want to rely on you and your machine to push it up to the App Store at that very moment. You could just have something doing that for you. So one of the ones I've been using quite a lot over the last couple of years is Bitrise. It's really nice. I was talking to someone earlier who I think used it a little while ago and it wasn't quite so nice. But it's pretty much sets itself up out of the box now. It's free up to about 30-minute build time. Swift seems pretty slow to build, so that might sound like a massive time, but even with a simple Swift app and some unit tests and UI tests, you'll probably find yourself pushing towards that upper limit. Android runs a lot faster on it, but you'll probably still get, for a hobby app, you'll probably still get that free, essentially. There's a load of integrations for it. So like just one of the builds we've got set up runs through these steps for every time we push to a branch. So it'll pull it out of Git, it'll do something with a script, it'll install your certificates and profiles, run CocoaPod install, test the app, archive it, push it up to Fabric, send a Slack notification to say if it succeeded or failed, and then sort of cache those details to make it faster in Bitrise next time, and stick it up on Bitrise as well. So yeah, it's very good. I'd recommend having a look if you don't have a continuous integration system. Obviously some places might have something fancier and more, what's the word? Fancy is the wrong word, but you might have to use certain things for certain reasons. But if you can use a cloud-based solution, it's a good one to use, in my opinion. So another one is build numbering. If you've pushed a build to the App Store and it's got a version number and a build number, and you then need to reproduce a problem, and you go into Git, check it out, build it, how do you know that version you've got is the same version that's on the App Store? There could be 20, 30 commits with that same build number in there, potentially. So don't manually update this. If you can, just automate it somehow. There's loads of different scripts out there for automating the build number. One of them is a gist that I stole off someone else that I've put here because my URL is easier to follow than a longer one. But this just takes the Git numbering and sets the build number on that, and if it's a development version, it will put the branch number in there, or the branch name in there, so that you can see where it came from. So when you build it or archive it, you can see that that one is the same one that it was somewhere else from something else building it, like CI. Targets are another one. So there's targets definitely have a place in iOS. So if you're building for different devices, like you have a iOS app and a watch app, targets are basically the only way you can do it. If you're building for different environments, targets are probably not what you want to be using. So it's going to show a quick demo of why you might not want to do that, if I can work out how to get it. And you're using targets, you compile the app, compiles fine, run it up, crash it straight away. And that's because we're using targets, and with targets, I don't know if you can see this area here, for every code file you have to specify which target that belongs to. But it'll happily compile, but if you forget to tick that box, it's broken. And the same will apply to images and other files and all sorts of things. So don't use targets if it's just for switching environments, because at some point that will trip you up. So we've got the same thing but with schemes, and you only get a single tick box. You can't miss that. That's just ticked by default. You won't have an issue. And just to prove it runs in production as well. Yeah, there you go. So if I ever come work with you at some point, I will try very hard if you're using targets to convince you not to use targets, unless it's for a different device. And then I told you it would be fast. So in conclusion, automate all the things you can. Set yourself up to prevent problems. There's certain things that will they'll trip you up if you've got them from the start. Just get rid of them early on. Just change over to whatever it is. Make your builds reproducible. If you can build something for production, make sure you can build that same thing somewhere else and you know it's the same thing. And it's worth doing even on small projects, because at some point you'll be working on that small project and it'll trip you up. And that's it. Any questions?